Okay, so I'm audible. Kindly confirm me. आवाज आ रही है? Okay, आवाज आ रही है? Okay, I believe everything is okay. So now, if you have any doubt from the last class or any other things, just let me know so that I can move forward. And now we can discuss some more important things regarding the same concept of geography. Clear, everybody? Hmm? Now, so today we're going to talk about first of all what we have discussed yesterday. We'll have a look over that. Okay, I'll describe those things that we have seen yesterday, and then I will talk about some more things, some more important things from the section of the geography. So first of all, good evening to everyone. I hope all you are hale and hearty. Okay, you are fresh, and now you are stay with me for the class. Okay. So yesterday what we have discussed basically we have discussed overall that what we have seen the latitude and longitudes we have seen how the date lines changes and each and everything we have seen. So what I'm just recalling it. So we have seen what we have seen. So basically let me recall it. First we have seen overall that how the place clear. Then what we have seen that universe has taken place from the point of view. So basically there was one point. Okay, so there was a one point. From that point, overall the blast or kind of a big bang happened there, and then all the planets, everything has created. Clear? And then I have talked about how many in which galaxy we live. So we live in a galaxy of the Milky Way. We live in a galaxy what we are calling it as the Milky Way galaxy. Okay. Then what I've discussed, we have discussed about the planets. So I have discussed about the planet that how many planets we have. So we have the Milky Way galaxy. In that Milky Way galaxy, all the planets, everything has created. Clear? And then I have talked about how many in which galaxy we live. So we live in a galaxy of the Milky Way. Okay, so we live in a galaxy of Milky Way. Then I have discussed about the solar system. So this is the solar system that we have. Solar system is a system which consists of the solar, that is the sun. So the sun is at the center of the solar system, and then we have the eight planets. Mercury, Mercury is there. So we have the eight planets. Okay, na? We have eight planets. So in them, in these eight planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. So I have discussed overall various classification of these things. Clear? Means I have discussed first of all their positioning and how you want to remember them. So for that, I told you my very special mother just serve us nuts. So this is the one way. Now everybody just be there in the class. Just be there in the class with a pencil, with a pen and paper, with the pen and paper. Everybody be there in the class with the pen and paper. Okay? So that whatever important concept I'm telling you, you may jot them down. You may jot them down. Okay? So I've discussed about the Mercury, Venus, and the Earth and Mars. Overall, the positioning of the planets I have discussed. Then I've discussed that nearest planet is the Mercury, but the hottest planet is the Venus because of composition of the atmosphere. Venus, it traps the carbon dioxide, hence a kind of a a kind of a greenhouse gas effect created there. Venus is also known as the twin planet of the Earth. Okay? Or Earth twins, it is called as. It is also known as the morning and evening star. So Venus is also known as the morning and evening star, Earth twin. ठीक है, मॉर्निंग एंड इवनिंग स्टार अर्थ ट्विन, ठीक है ना। अर्थ इज नोन एज द ब्लू प्लैनेट, Mars is known as the red planet, Jupiter the largest planet, Saturn the planet with the maximum ring. So these all things we have discussed yesterday. These all things we have discussed yesterday. Then I have talked about overall latitude and longitude. Latitudes, what are the latitudes? So for example, if this is the earth, so whatever horizontal lines that are passing known as the latitude, and the longest latitude is termed as the equator. So equator is the longest latitude, ठीक है ना, longest latitude, which divides the earth in the northern and southern hemisphere, which divides the earth in the northern and southern hemisphere. Then we have discussed overall what is the tropical area, subtropical area, temperate area, frigid zone. These things we have discussed yesterday. We have discussed about the longitudes. Longitudes means the long line that I can draw on the on earth. These long lines are known as the longitudes, and the longitude which is there at 0 degree is known as the prime meridian. Prime meridian, from where we calculate the time, from where we calculate the time. Clear? So for example, if this is the prime meridian we have, this is the prime meridian we have, this will pass to 0 degree, this will pass to 0 degree, and if we move east of it, we will lose time. If we move west of, इंडिया इज 5.5 आवर अहेड ऑफ द ग्रीनविच, तो जो हमारा प्राइम मेरिडियन है वहां से वी आर 5.5 आवर अहेड, ठीक है ना, 5.5 आवर अहेड, ठीक है ना. देन वी हैव डिस्कस्ड अबाउट दीज थिंग्स, and overall we've discussed that which line or which longitude passes through India, that we consider as the time of the India. So basically we consider the line, the latitude, take it, sorry, the longitude which is there at 82 and half. We consider the longitude which is there at 82 and half as the as our time. Clear? Then overall I talked about the rotation and revolution of the earth. Rotation and revolution, if it is something, if something is moving on its own axis, that is the rotation. And if something is, this is the sun and this is the earth, so earth is revolving, that is known as the revolution. That is known as the revolution. Because of rotation, what happens? Because of rotation, day and night are happening, and because of revolution, what happened? Because of revolution, the seasonal change happen. And this is, I'm just recalling, I'm a little bit fast because I'm just recalling the concept that we have done yesterday only. And then I've discussed overall the various positions of the earth. ठीक है ना, we discussed about the, when we have maximum heat, maximum ray, so it is the summer solstice. When we have minimum ray, it is the winter solstice. And we have discussed also about the equinox, when overall the sea heat that is there on the sun, on the earth, is equal in nature. I've discussed about these things. Now today we're going to talk about some more important things that you need to understand. And what is that? That is the composition of the earth. The composition of the earth, or what we call it as overall how we get the information that what is there inside the earth. Everybody is me? Equal in nature. I've discussed about these. Okay. Kindly type yes if you are getting everything till now. So now I'm going to discuss about the overall composition of the earth, or what is there inside the earth. Okay, what is there inside the earth? Now, let's say for example, I want to know about the earth. I want to know about the earth, the inside of earth. How I'm going to know about the inside of the earth? So there are two types of the method to know the inside of the earth. The first method is the direct method, and second is the indirect method. So there are some direct method from which we can know that what is there inside the earth. There are some direct method from which we can know what is there inside the earth. Okay, so there are some direct method and there are some indirect method. What is the direct method? Let's say for example we have this earth. Okay, let me take the earth, something as the earth. Right now I'm not seeing anything. Okay, let this be as a earth. Okay, so for example, let this is be the earth. Okay, now I want to know what is there inside the earth. So what are the ways? I may drill this thing. Okay, na, I may drill this thing, or I can do mining. Okay, ठीक है, सब ठीक है, everything is okay. Okay, ठीक है, सब ठीक है, everything is okay. Now everything is okay. Clear? So first way in which we can get the information for the that what is inside the earth is the direct method. In the direct method, first we have discussed the mining. What is the mining? In which we'll directly dig the earth and we'll extract the thing which is there inside the earth, and now we have the thing. Clear? In this method, we'll directly going to dig up the earth. So that is the direct method, mining. Okay, and you need to understand that world's largest mining or deepest mining that we have done till now is the of South Africa of 4 kilometer deep. Nothing more deeper than this till now had happened. Okay, so that is you need to know about. Next, overall, next thing is that drilling method. You have seen the drilling method various time. In the drilling method, you're going to drill the earth with some machines, very heavy machinery. You're going to drill the earth, and that is also a way in which you can get that what is there inside the earth, because we are right now studying the structure of the earth or what is inside the earth. Clear? Till now what we have done, we have basically digged up to 12 kilometers. So 12 kilometers we have drilled it. Mining was done up to 4 kilometer, drilling was done up to 12 kilometers. Clear? In both the two methods, they both are the direct method in which way we get the information what is there inside the earth. Now, these are the both are the artificial or the cosmetic method or all the method that are made by the man. Now, the third method, which is the direct method, but this is a natural process and that is known as the volcanic eruption. Via the volcanic eruption also, we can get the information that what is there inside the earth. For example, earth, definitely earth is there, and now inside the earth there's a lot of heat, and because of heat what is happening, volcanic eruption is happening, and in the process of volcanic eruption what will come out on the surface? Definitely only those things will come out on the surface which is there inside the earth. Yes or no? All those things will come out on the surface which is there inside the earth. Clear? So volcanic eruption, so it is a natural process in which we get the information that what is there inside the earth. Volcanic eruption, it is a natural process in which we get the information which is what is there inside the earth. So first is the mining, second is drilling, third is the volcanic method or volcanic eruption method in which we get the information that what is there inside the earth. Everybody till now everything is clear? Now next comes the indirect method. There's some indirect method through which we can also know that what is there inside the earth. Clear? First comes in the indirect method, what is there first? Now, in the indirect method, first comes your temperature, pressure, and density of the material. Now, if you know the information regarding the temperature, regarding the pressure and density, means some physical quantity, if you know the measurement of these dimensions, then you may have a slightly understanding that what is there inside the earth. For example, as you go inside the earth, what will happen? Your temperature will going to increase. As you go inside the earth, your temperature will going to increase. As you go inside the earth, your pressure will also going to increase, and as you go inside the earth, your density will also going to be increased. Clear? Now these are something which is very much fundamental in nature that you need to understand. As you go, these are the fundamental quantity. As you go inside the earth, the temperature will increase, it will shoot up. Okay? The pressure will increase because the material is so much dense, so much hot, and apart from that the density will also going to increase. So all these things will increase the moment you go inside the earth. Clear? Next thing, for example, if you are going outside the earth, means on the in the atmosphere. So if you go in the atmosphere, your temperature will overall reduce. Okay? When you're going inside the earth, temperature is increasing, but when you going outside the earth, means in the atmosphere, your temperature will decrease, your pressure will also decrease, and your density will also decrease. Clear? Why it is so? Because as you're going up in the on upper side, definitely temperature will decrease. Pressure, how the pressure will decrease? For example, you have the atmosphere. Now in the atmosphere, near the atmosphere, the overall gases are so much dense, and then the gases are so much dense, the pressure will be high. But as you move away from the earth, what will happen? As you move away from the earth, so definitely the density of the atmosphere, the density of the air, the density of the air particles will reduce, or they will be very much apart from each other. And if they are very much apart from each other, what will happen? Overall the pressure will decrease, and hence leading to the decrease of density. Now till now, if you have not got anything, just let me know. Everybody, you getting everything? Just confirm me once if you're getting everything. If you are getting everything, just let me know. Clear? So these are the two things we have talked about, direct and indirect source from which we can get the information regarding the earth. Clear? This is something you need to know. Next comes your, so in the indirect method we have, for example, we can get the many things, for example, from the temperature, density, and from the meteors. Remember yesterday I have talked about the meteors. What are the meteors? Overall, those bodies, okay na, those of celestial bodies. What is the celestial bodies? The bodies that are there in the space, in the outer space. Outer space means anything which is there beyond 100 kilometers known as the outer space. Anything which is there beyond 100 kilometers known as the outer space. Meteors are those bodies, those falling bodies that fall on earth. And because the moment they are falling on earth, so because the moment they come in the contact of the earth surface, earth atmosphere, they burned up. ठीक है, उसको बोलते हैं, that is known as the meteors. That is known as the meteor. Clear? Then comes the gravitational force or magnetic survey. ठीक है ना? तो gravitational force, because of the gravity, for example, at a particular place gravitational force is so much high, definitely that gives some information regarding what is there beneath the surface, beneath the earth. Next, the magnetic survey and seismic activity. What is the meaning of seismic activity? Now, wherever you find this word seismic, this means that is something related to the earthquake. Take the meaning of the seismic. What is the meaning of seismic? The meaning of the seismic is something which is related to the earthquake. Clear? So seismic activity means that activity which leads to the generation of the earthquake. Clear, everybody? Seismic activity is that activity which leads to the generation of the earthquake. Clear? Now, I'll talk about the earthquake. What is the meaning of earthquake? Now, but before the moving or before understanding what is there, what is the meaning of earthquake, I want to show you some picture, for your understanding. Now, overall, if I talk about, basically, the earth is, inside the earth there are lot of the magma, there is a lot of the lava. For example, now see this picture and have some clarity from here. Now, can you see this picture here? Here, can you see this picture? Now, what is there in this picture? What is there in this picture? Clear. Now, so basically, this is the interior of the earth. This is the interior of the earth, and in the interior of the earth, what you can see? Now you can see that currents are moving. What are these currents? Now, first I'll explain you the meaning, the definition of the currents. This is not the electrical current that we have in the home. Now, basically, if I talk about the current, so there are different meaning of the current. Let's say, for example, if I talk about in the context of the home, so we have the electrical current from which we charge our phones, laptop, batteries. Clear? Then we have a current which is there in oceans. What is the meaning of current in oceans? So if I talk about the currents in ocean, so that is the something means movement of the water. In the context of the oceans, movement of the water is known as the current. And here, what is the meaning of the current inside the earth? So you know that inside the earth, as what I've told you, as you are going inside the earth, the temperature will increase. As you're going to inside the earth, the pressure will increase, and as you're going inside the earth, the density will increase. Clear, everybody? ठीक है? So as you are going inside the earth, the temperature is increasing. So inside the earth, overall, the metals, they are in the molten format. The metals are in the liquid format, and they move from one place to other place. You can see overall these things are moving from one place to other place, and this causes seismic activity. This causes seismic activity. We have just seen the seismic activity. We have just seen the seismic activity. Seismic activity. So seismic activity can be generated from many ways. Seismic activity can be generated in many ways. For example, the first way that can generate the seismic activity is the movement of the current inside the earth, means movement of the molten magma inside the earth. Clear? The next way could be, for example, you may heard about the, we'll talk about it, tectonic plates. So you have one tectonic plate here, one plate, one earth plate here, one earth plate here. So when these earth plates are, you know, striking towards each other or moving away from each other, that also generates the seismic activity. So seismic activity, the meaning of the seismic activity, any activity which is there inside the earth is known as the seismic activity. Any activity which is there inside the earth is known as the seismic activity. Now, we'll talk about the earthquake. We'll talk about the earthquake. So basically, what is the meaning of the earthquake? So it is a natural event that releases the energy. So earthquake, what it does, it releases the energy. And now, from where this energy is coming? I told you already, this energy can be there from any format. For example, as I've shown you this. So this energy could be there in this format from the molten magma, or this energy can also be there from some movement of some scales. For example, you may see right now, for example, you may see these plates. Let me show you some plates. Yeah, you may see some, can you see some plates here? Some plates here. So overall these are the crust and they are moving apart, and this movement of the crust apart from each other also generate the seismic activity. If two plates are coming close to each other, that also generates the seismic activity. So any activity which is happening inside the earth, which is causing the overall some formation of energy, some movement, and that is only known as the seismic energy or seismic activity. That is only known as the seismic activity. And what one such seismic activity generates the earthquake. One such seismic activity generates the earthquake. So now I think you have got the understanding, you have got the proper clarity that what is the meaning of the earthquake. Everybody, just confirm me once. Have you got? Then please type yes if you have got the clarity that how the earthquakes are generated. Then I'll talk about the next topic. Kindly confirm me. Type yes if you are getting anything. Sorry, if you're getting everything. Type yes if the things are clear. Three, four people are watching. Type yes. Clear? Now, so earthquake. Now, this is what we have talked about. So earthquake, what is the meaning of earthquake? Earthquake is anything. Earthquake is anything which is any movement because of the energy. Okay? And the overall the wave that is generated because of that energy, we're calling it as the seismic wave, and the activity we are calling it as the seismic activity. Is that clear? Next thing what you need to understand is, now the overall this picture is not very much good, but overall no problem, we'll adjust from the same picture. Now what is this? What is this? This is the overall this is overall the formation of the earth, or let's say I'm going to show you some better picture. Okay, now this is one such a picture where you will understand that what is the meaning of earthquake or seismic activity. Now, can you see this picture? Can you see this picture? Now, in this picture, what is there? In this picture, we have this earth. We have this earth. Clear? Now, in this earth, can you see here? Hmm? In this picture, can you see there? Here we have the earth. Now, basically, on the center of the earth, on the center of the earth, from where the seismic activity get generated, on the center of the earth from where the seismic activity is generated, we call this as the focus point. We call this as the focus point. Clear? We call this as the focal point. And one more word is there which comes every often in the examination, that what is the meaning of this word that you can see here is the epicenter. What is the meaning of epicenter? So in the case of the earthquake, two terms are important that you need to understand. First is the focus. What is the focus? So focus is that point from where the inception of the activity of the in the inception of the seismic activity take place. Focus is that point from where the inception, the genesis, the start of the seismic activity take place. That is the that is known, what we know as focus. Clear? Next comes the epicenter. People ask, or in the examination there will be always be a question, what is the meaning of epicenter? So epicenter is that point which is directly overhead of this focus. Epicenter is that point which is directly overhead of this focus. Clear? Epicenter is that point which is directly overhead of this focus. And epicenter is also that point which will cause, at this point there will be maximum destruction. At this point of the epicenter there will be maximum destruction. Clear, everybody? So this is what you need to know about this earthquake. Clear? So this is overall, this is your focus. This point is known as the focus, and the point which is directly above the surface of the focus is known as the epicenter, and at this point you will have the maximum destruction. Clear, everybody? Maximum destruction. These questions are directly asked in the examination. What is the meaning of epicenter? Okay, what is the meaning of focus? Clear? So I've explained about the focus. What is the meaning of focus? I explained about. So focus is the point from where the energy is released. That is known as the focus. Then we have talked about the what is the meaning of epicenter. So epicenter is a point which is directly above the focus. Any point which is directly above the focus is known as the epicenter. Okay. Next comes the overall. All the natural earthquakes are at the lithosphere only. We'll note it. Now, next thing is overall what is the meaning of seismograph? So basically, if the earthquake is there, we need to measure the earthquake also. How are you going to measure the earthquake? So we are going to measure the earthquake with the help of the seismograph. So seismograph is basically an instrument that records the earthquake. Clear? Seismograph, it is an instrument that records the earthquake. That records the earthquake. Clear? Now, as we have discussed, that earthquake is something that it get into its form in the form of waves. Earthquake is something which get into its form in the form of a wave, in the form of energy. Clear? And that energy definitely will going to reciprocate in all the direction, will going to move in all the direction in the form of wave, in the form of wave. Now we'll discuss about the seismic wave or type of the seismic waves. Are you getting my point, everybody? Are you getting my point? What I'm trying to explain. Till now, if you have any confusion, just let me know. Clear? Now we're going to talk about the seismic wave or type of the seismic waves we have. Now, first comes your body waves. What comes? First comes your body waves. Body wave, what is the meaning of body? Which body we are talking about? So we have seen, what we have seen? We have seen the surface of the earth. So for example, this is the earth. Now this is our earth. This is our earth. Clear? Now on the surface of the earth, the genesis of the earthquake taken place. The moment the beginning of the or genesis of the earthquake take place. Clear? So overall, as I told you, so first the earthquake take place on the lithosphere. First earthquake take place on lithosphere. Clear, buddy? First earthquake take place on the lithosphere. So if the earthquake is taking place in the lithosphere, definitely waves will be generated there, and that very first wave generated on the surface of the earth is known as the body wave. Now I think you have got the clear cut understanding that what is the meaning of the body wave. So body wave is that wave which get generated because of the earthquake on the surface of the earth is known as the body wave. Okay? Clear, buddy? Now body waves has been classified into two types. First is the P wave, what we call it as the primary wave, and next wave is the S wave, what you call it as the secondary waves. Clear? Now coming on the primary waves, why? Just think about it. Why the primary waves are known as primary waves? Can you give me the answer? Why the primary waves are known as the primary waves, not anything else? So the primary waves are known as the primary wave because they reach on the surface very fast. This is the first wave that you record. Primary waves are known as the primary waves because these are the first wave that you record on the surface of the earth, and hence they are known as the primary or the P wave. Clear? Primary wave or the P wave. And these waves basically they are similar of the sound wave. Primary waves are similar of the sound wave. Clear? Now, what is the meaning of sound wave? So sound wave is that wave which can travel in a medium. So sound wave is that wave which needs a medium. What is the meaning of medium? So sound waves are that wave which needs a medium, means it cannot move in a vacuum. Sound wave cannot move in a vacuum. It needs a medium. Clear? So sound wave, just like the sound wave, the primary waves of the section of the body waves, they also need a medium. And what's that medium? Solid, liquid, or gas. So the overall primary waves can only travel through solid, liquid, and gas. They cannot travel through vacuum. Clear? One more thing. Overall, the direction of the propagation, or the direction of their movement will going to be parallel to the direction of movement. So overall, the particles that are vibrating, the vibrating particle will be parallel to the direction of movement. So if the waves are moving in this direction, the particle will also behave or will also move in this same direction. Clear, everybody? Clear? So primary waves are those waves which comes on the surface very fast. Okay? And next thing is, overall the direction of the vibrating जो vibrations होगा, okay, that overall material, so they will also going to vibrate parallel to the direction of the propagation. Clear? That is something you need to know. They need a medium to travel, primary waves. Now comes the secondary waves. Now why the name of secondary waves? The same thing, because they are recorded second time. So first we record in the seismograph. Remember the seismograph? I've just shown you what is the meaning of seismograph. Seismograph is that instrument on which we measure the earthquake. Seismograph is that instrument on which we measure the earthquake. Now the secondary wave. So secondary waves, they are recorded second time on the seismograph. First the primary waves are recorded, and hence they are known as the secondary waves. Primary waves, they can travel through solid, liquid, and gas, but that overall secondary wave, they can travel only through the solid. So that is the one difference between the primary and secondary waves. That primary waves can travel through all the medium, solid, liquid, and gas, but a medium, but not a vacuum. But this overall overall this secondary wave, they can travel only through the solid. And next thing, that is the difference that is there in the section of primary wave. What we have seen, that primary waves, they can move, or they overall the particles are in the direction of the propagation, means they are parallel to the direction of the propagation. But in the case of secondary waves, the particles are not the parallel, but they are perpendicular to the direction of the propagation. So if the direction of the propagation is this, in this way, the overall particle will be in the upside. The particle will be upside, they will not be in the direction of the propagation. Clear? And next thing that you need to understand, which is very important from the section of the this earthquake, that they are the most destructive. So the primary waves, they are not very much destructive, but the secondary wave, they are most destructive in nature. They are most destructive in nature. So this is the overall diagram is there. This is the diagram of the primary waves. Okay, overall, and this is the diagram of the secondary wave. They are the most destructive, so they will cause the maximum destruction. Clear? Next thing, the point is shadow area. You're not replying. Anyone, just type yes so that I can understand that you are getting everything. Just type yes if you're getting everything. Type yes. Why you don't reply, bhai? क्या हो गया है? Now shadow zone. What is the meaning of shadow zone? So these waves, we have seen the earthquake, we have seen the activity of the earthquake, that overall there's a focus. And we have seen the focus point. You may see again here. This is the overall. Here is the focus point. This is the focus point, and that is the epicenter. The point that is just above the focus is known as the epicenter. These things we have discussed. Now, so the moment and seismic activity happens, then we have seen the generation of the primary and secondary wave. But you need to understand that primary and secondary wave, they don't travel throughout the surface of the earth. Then what? This means S wave, take it, that is secondary wave, they cover only the 40% of the area. Take it, that is a surface wave. Surface wave covers only the 40% of the area. So we have seen the surface wave. Surface wave, what is the meaning of surface wave? Primary and secondary waves, है ना, उसको हमने basically, ठीक है ना, surface wave हम कह रहे हैं, ठीक है. So overall, this is the primary wave, this is the structure of the primary wave, this is the structure of the secondary wave. So the primary wave, ठीक है ना, primary waves, ठीक है ना, the primary waves, एक सेकेंड, वन मोर थिंग, हाँ ठीक है. Primary waves, तो overall primary waves will go in this direction. देखो, you may see the direction. This is the overall area in which the primary waves go. ठीक है ना. This is the primary wave shadow area where I'm circling, circular में कर रहा हूँ. This is the primary wave shadow area, means in this area we are not finding anything. Clear? Till now you need to know this much. Now, the type of the earthquake, how the earthquake generation happen, as I've already discussed, many things I've discussed. Now the things become easier for you. First, the tectonic movement we have already witnessed, we have already covered this thing, that how overall, because of the tectonic movement, and you may see, I have shown you that overall when the plates are moving away from each other, when the tectonic plates the moving close to each other, so because of the tectonic movement also the earthquake happens. Next is because of the volcanic eruption also the earthquake happen, as I have shown you, and if the volcanic eruption is happening, so it will lead to the generation of some space, and that will lead to the volcanic eruption, that will lead to the earthquake. Next, mining. Let's say for example, if you are mining so deep, you are mining so deep, and because of that much deep mining, what is happening, you are hollowing the earth, you are creating some space, some room in the earth, and that can cause what, that can cause the overall earthquake generation or seismic activity. Next, if some, let's say for example, some chemical explosion you are doing, or some reservoir, for example, chemical explosion means, let's say for example, you have triggered one nuclear bomb. So the triggering of that nuclear bomb will going to cause the generation of the seismic activity, and that will cause the earthquake. Or reservoir, for example, maybe you have seen the Three Gorges Dam. So China, they build a Three Gorges Dam, and that dam is a very huge, a very voluminous, and that can also cause the seismic activity. That can also cause the seismic activity. Now, till now, what we have seen, or what I told you right away, that overall, I told you about a graph, that is the seismograph. What is the seismograph? Seismograph is an instrument that from which we measure the earthquake activity or the seismic activity. That is something I told you already. Now I'm going to talk about how we going to measure the earthquake. What is the way of measurement of the earthquake, how we can measure the earthquake. So the earthquake can be measured from the various scale. First is your Richter scale. So Richter scale is a scale from which you measure the earthquake. Richter scale is a scale from which you measure the earthquake. Next is the Mercury scale. Mercury scale is something with which you also measure the earthquake. Then what is the difference between them? The only difference between them, that with the Richter scale measure the magnitude of the scale, that how much magnitude it has. And the Mercury scale measure the intensity of the overall intensity of the earthquake. Now you may remember it as MI. MI. What is the meaning of MI? M is mercury, I means intensity. So the mercury scale measure the intensity. Mercury scale measure the intensity. Clear? Next, we'll talk about overall what is the effect of the earthquake. People know very well that overall the earthquake may cause lot of the problem, है ना? So these are the things that are written here. ठीक है ना? I'll share you the PDF, and then from there you may see. So overall, if I read it from here only, है ना? So there'll be avalanches, ठीक है ना? Or there'll be flooding, ठीक है, there will be collapse of the object, tsunami, and number of things will happen, the effect of the earthquake. Now till now, if you have got everything, just let me know. Till now you have got everything, just let me know. If anyone has any doubt, ask me. If anyone has any doubt, ask me. Any doubt? Any doubt? So okay, I believe you don't have any doubt. Now, earth interior, or the interior of the earth. Okay. So this is a picture which shows a very beautiful interior of the earth. So in the interior of the earth, what we have? So in the interior of the earth, we have the inner core. Inner core. Let's say, let me search a very beautiful picture. Okay, so this is a picture from which you can see clearly what is the interior of the earth. So basically, earth is made up of the some layers. First example, the inner layer of the earth is known as the for example, let's say the upper layer of the earth is known as the crust. So crust is the upper layer of the earth. Then comes the mantle, the second layer of the earth. Then comes the outer core, that is the, and next comes the inner core. So basically, crust, mantle, and core is divided into two parts, that is the outer core and inner core. This is the overall structure of the earth. Crust is that structure where we live. Next comes the mantle, outer core, and inner core. Clear? Now, so basically, apart from that, we have also divided in some classification. For example, the crust. Crust is there up to 100 kilometers. You can see from 5 kilometers to 100 kilometer. This is the overall crust, which comes under the lithosphere. And from there, from 100 kilometers, from the 100 kilometers to 650 or 70 kilometers, we have the upper mantle. Upper mantle. Okay? Upper mantle. And then we have the outer core and inner core. Outer core and inner core. Outer core is liquid in nature and inner core is solid in nature. Clear? Clear? This thickness you need to understand. The crust is of 100 kilometer. Then overall lithosphere is also the mantle is of 100 kilometer to 2900 kilometers. Okay, 29 is there. Next comes the outer core. Outer core is 29 to 5100 kilometers and the inner core is 51 to 6378 kilometers. So this is the overall dimension of the earth, overall the structure of the earth, overall the scale of the earth that you need to understand. This is the earth interior. This is the earth interior. Okay, crust, mantle, core. So crust, mantle, core. Clear? And core is also divided into two parts: outer core, inner core. Outer core is liquid and inner core is solid in nature. Okay. So first, let's say for example, we'll see some data. First comes the crust. So crust क्या है बताया मैंने? What I told you? It is the upper solid layer. It is the upper solid layer. ठीक है? Lasts for example 100 kilometers. ठीक है? Next comes the next comes I told you the mantle. Take this mantle. Now this mantle, it is basically the part of the lithosphere also. ठीक है? It is up to the 200 kilometer. ठीक है? और basically total जो जाएगा will be 2900 kilometers, as I told you. Mantle is the largest part. Mantle comprises the largest part of the earth. Mantle comprises the largest part of the earth. Clear everybody? ठीक है? Next comes the core. Next comes the core. Now, which question can be asked in the examination directly, which is something very important? The question that can be asked in the examination, which is very important, is overall the fraction or overall the compartmentalization of the core. So core is divided into two parts. The core is divided into the two part. Which part? The first part is the outer core and inner core. So they have divided the core into two parts, the outer core and the inner core. Now what is it? Basically, outer core is liquid in nature. That this question has been asked in the examination many couple of times. Couple of times this question has been asked. That outer core is liquid in nature. Outer core is liquid in nature and inner core is solid in nature. This question has been asked couple of times. याद रखिएगा, outer core is solid in nature, inner core is liquid in nature. ठीक है, inner core is liquid in nature. One more thing or one question has been left that you need to understand, that what is the difference between this world, that is the magma, and this world, that is the lava. Anyone in this class can tell me what is the difference between the magma and lava? What is the difference between magma or lava? Hmm? Now, if I talk about what is the difference between the magma and lava, so magma is basically, molten material. M for molten, M for magma. So magma is what is it? Inside the earth we have lot of the metals, and as I've said, that as you move inside the earth the temperature will increase. So as you move inside the earth the temperature will increase. Clear? As you're moving inside the earth the temperature will increase. So all the metal is in the liquid format, and the moment this liquid that is there, hot liquid, hot soup of metal, is known as the magma. This hot soup of the metal is known as the magma. And when this magma comes out of the pressure, because of the pressure it comes out on the surface of the earth, the same magma, we termed it as lava. Is that clear? So when the molten material is there inside the earth, it is termed as the magma, and when this molten material comes on the surface of the earth, this is termed as the lava. Is that clear? Is that clear? One question is also there. Attempt this question. Now we'll understand various types of the volcano. First comes the overall shield volcano. So this is the type of the shield volcano you may see here. This is the shield volcano. Okay, this is the shield volcano. It is low explosivity. So basically there is no explosion. Why there is no explosion? Overall you can see the mouth of the shield volcano. So the mouth is very big. And if the mouth is very big, definitely there'll be very less chances of the explosion. है There'll be very minute chances, very less chances of the explosion. Clear? Next comes the composite volcano. Composite volcano. They are the explosive eruptions. Why? Overall, you can see the peak is very steep. Overall, the height is also very steep. Okay? Clear? And they overall erupt large quantity of the ashes and pyroclastics and sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide. So basically, they are composite volcano. They are, I should say, more harsh, more adverse, more firm compared to the shield volcano. And third comes the caldera. They are the most explosive. ठीक है ना? Because overall the magma supply is very large. ठीक है ना? Magma supply is very large. Clear? Next, flood basalt lava profile. This is something you don't need to understand. Now we'll call about the volcanic landforms, or how, when, what we have seen overall that inside the earth we have seen the liquid material is there, liquid metals are there. This liquid metal is known as the magma. When this liquid metal is coming out on the surface of the earth, we are terming it as the lava. Now, what is happening after this solidification of this lava? What will happen? The overall, these are the metals. So when they come on the surface, and solidifies in the form of lava, they will form the rocks. Everybody, clear or not clear? Hmm? Clear or not clear? When it will come on the surface on the earth, when it will come on the surface of the earth, it will solidifies, and after the solidification, what will form? It will form the rock. Now we'll discuss the rocks that are made from rocks that are made from the lava. Okay, so first comes the igneous rocks, or we call it as the primary rocks. Now how these rocks are making? The formation of these rocks happen when the lava comes on the surface and solidifies. So it takes the form of the rock, and that rock is known as the igneous rock. So igneous rock is that rock which forms out of the lava. So lava solidifies, forms the igneous rocks. You know very well, because these rocks are coming, or these rocks are from the formation of these rocks is taking place from the very hot lava. Hence, you will never find any sort of living thing inside these rocks. Okay, no fossil will you find there inside these rocks. So no fossil is there. No fossil is there. Clear? Example could be your granite and these things. So basically, this is the kind of extrusive volcanic rock. What is the meaning of extrusive? Extrusive means something which is coming on the surface. Extrusive. Next, I'll talk about the next. I'll talk about so some examples are there. Batholith, Carolith. You will read this example. What is the meaning of dikes? Next comes the sedimentary rocks. Next comes the sedimentary rocks. What is the meaning of sedimentary rocks? The sedimentary rock, this word is made from the word sediments. The sedimentary rock, the word is made from the word sediment. What is the meaning of sediment? Sediment means something which has remained there. Something what remains there is the sediment. Okay? So the meaning of the sedimentary rock is when various particle comes close together. What kind of particles are these? Dust particle and number of the particles, rocks, when they come close to each other, taken or when they accumulated at a particular place, accumulated in a particular place, these sediments when they accumulated and forms a pile of the stones, and that is what known as the sedimentary rocks. So sedimentary rocks, what is the meaning of sedimentary rock? Broken down into the small fragments of the sediments. So it is a rock that is made from the broken of the small fragments or sediment is known as the sedimentary rocks. Okay? So sedimentary rocks are formed from the different type of the layers of the metals from the rocks. When all the different type of rocks, debris, dust, okay, they travel from one place to other place. That is the transportation happen. There the formation of the sedimentary rock take place. And one more thing, in the case of sedimentary rock, you're going to have the fossil. So sedimentary rocks, they contain the fossil, but igneous rocks, they don't contain the fossil. And why they don't contain the fossil? The reason is because they are made up of the very hot lava, and definitely the lava, it is very hot, hence there will be no life, so that they will not contain any fossil. Lava has no life, hence lava, it is very hot, hence they don't contain any rocks. Next, third type of the rock, which is very important, is the metamorphic rock. What is the meaning of metamorphic rock? Now, metamorphic rocks are those rocks which are made up of the some change over these rocks. So what we have seen the igneous rocks and we have seen the sedimentary rocks. Now, these igneous and sedimentary rocks, when are exposed to the natural factors, for example, sun, air, okay, sun, air, water. So when they are exposed to these natural uh, agents, clear, they will undergo a change, and then overall the metamorphic process happen. Means the moment they are going under change, this under changing of the process is known as the metamorphism. And that rock which you formed and which we have in the form after the metamorphism is known as the metamorphic rock. Are you getting my point? Three rocks we have seen. Now I'm going to explain it again. Three rocks we have seen. First, we have seen the igneous rocks. What are the igneous rocks? Igneous rocks are those rocks, the moment the magma comes out of the on the surface, solidifies in the form of lava. Solidifies in the form of the lava. This lava over the period of time solidifies, pile up, and then takes place the formation of the igneous rocks. Because this is made from the very hot lava, so you're not going to find any fossils in this igneous in this igneous rock. Next comes the metamorphic. Next comes the ठीक है, metamorphic rocks. No, sorry, sedimentary rocks. Next comes the sedimentary rocks. And what is the sedimentary rocks? Sedimentary rock is made from the word sediments. So when you find different type of the metals, different type of the rocks, different type of the dust, so all these things comes together. They transport from one place to other place, and they will uh, they will settle down at a particular place and then make a pile of it. And that kind of rock is known as the sedimentary rocks. And third and very important rock the is your is your metamorphic rock. Metamorphic rock. So what is the meaning of metamorphic rock? Now igneous rocks and sedimentary rocks, both these rocks undergo some changes in due to the presence of the natural factor. So they will undergo some changes due to the presence of the natural factors, natural agents. And what are these natural agents? Sun, air, water. So these natural agents will going to change the form of the igneous and sedimentary rock, and that is known as the metamorphic rock. Are you got these all these concepts? Till now, are you got all these concepts? If you have any doubt till now, just ask me. Any doubt till now, ask me. Any doubt? Anyone has any doubt? Ask me. I think the classes are going beautifully. Any doubt? Anyone has any doubt? Ask me. Any doubt? Any concept that you not understood till now? Hmm? Anyone? Okay. So this is the thing what we have discussed today. Let me revise it again what we discussed today, and then when we'll move, we'll wind up the class है ना, because the time is up. और उसके बाद हम कल आगे बात करेंगे. So what we have discussed today, we have discussed today overall, we have discussed the formation of the earth. ठीक है ना, we have discussed that how we going to have the information regarding the earth, that what is there inside the earth, how you get the information for the same. So we'll get the information है ना, regarding that what is there inside the earth, how we get the information. We get the information from the direct and indirect source. So they are told about the drilling method and some other methods, indirect source, seismic activity, this and that. And I also told you when you go inside the earth, the temperature will increase, the pressure will increase, and the density will also increase. Okay? And when you go in the atmosphere, the temperature will decrease, pressure will decrease, and the density will decrease. Then we have discussed about the volcanic activity. We have discussed how the volcanoes are taken place. Okay, we have discussed about the focus, and we have discussed about the epicenters. Okay, we have discussed about the seismograph, that is the graph from which we measure the activity, seismic activity. We have discussed about body waves. We have discussed about overall what kind of seismic wave we have. So primary and secondary wave. Primary waves are those waves which are come on the surface, recorded by the seismograph. They are least destructive. They are the same as the sound wave. They travel with the same light or with the same speed as the speed of the sound, and they travel on the solid, liquid, and gas on in all the three mediums, as in the case of the sound. ठीक है. Next, and one more thing is left. They move. Overall vibration of the particle is parallel to the direction of the propagation. In the case of secondary wave, अभी मैं थोड़ा तेज बोल रहा हूँ, I'm speeding, I'm in speed. The reason is, overall this is the revision. Secondary waves are those waves which travel second to the primary waves, and they are most destructive. They are most destructive. Clear? They are most destructive. And next thing is, the overall the vibration of the particle will be perpendicular to the wave. Next comes the shadow zone. Some area in some area we don't follow, we don't see these waves, that is the shadow zone. We have seen overall what are the reasons, main reasons from which the earthquake generated. Overall we have seen the Richter scale and the Richter scale for the magnitude, and we have seen the Mercury scale for the intensity. Then we have seen overall what are the effect of the earthquake. We have seen the interior structure of the earth, crust, mantle, and core. Core is divided into two parts, outer and inner. Inner core is solid in nature, outer core is liquid in nature. That is something you need to understand. The crust, it lasted up to 100 kilometers, and from 100 to 2900 kilometers the mantle, and then the core. So we discussed about this and that. We have discussed about the crust, mantle, and core. Each and everything we have discussed there. And then we have discussed various types of the volcanoes. So shield volcano, least destructive, this because of the very big size, not in height. Composite volcano, they are definitely explosive in nature, but the most explosive is the caldera. ठीक है. Then we have discussed overall what we have discussed the volcanic landforms, or various type of the rocks that are formed from the volcano. So we have discussed the igneous rocks, which is directly from the solidification of the lava. Then we have seen the sedimentary rocks, which is formed because of the sediments. And then we have seen the metamorphic rock, which formed overall the change of the period, means Overall, the form changes over the period of time, and that is known as the metamorphism, and that rock is known as the metamorphic rock. Clear, everybody? Now, tomorrow will start from the oceans and continent. Start from the oceans and continent. Clear? Now, if you have any doubt, you will leave your valuable comment there. And but this is very bad. You never reply in the live chat. No problem at all. Okay, मिलते हैं कल. Till then, take a goodbye. Thank you. This is Mohit Tiwari signing off. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.